Welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. The 3 keys to your success is just moments away. Here's your host, Brian Kelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. I don't know about you, but I get pumped about these shows each and every time. I am so blessed that I get to interview amazing people like the young woman you are going to meet tonight, Cyndi Walter. She is an amazing, accomplished woman who is impressive, to say the least. And I cannot wait to share her and her wisdom and her big, beautiful brain with all of you, because you're going to get supreme value tonight, and you'll want to be on, stay on, pay attention, get your notebooks ready. It's going to be a great ride. The Mind Body Business Show, that is all about 3 pillars that I call the 3 pillars of success. And what I found in researching and studying only successful people over the past decade is that those 3 patterns always seem to rise to the top. I was deeply curious in what made highly successful people highly successful. And they came into 3 categories, one being mind. And what that means is mindset. Each and every person that I studied that had achieved very high levels of success had a flexible and powerful mindset. We may go into some of that tonight here on the show. The thing I love about this show, it's organic, unscripted, and we cover these 3 areas throughout the show. And it's going to be a fun ride, like I said earlier. And then there's body. That is all about taking care of yourself, both physically and nutritionally, and especially on the latter and also on the former. Our guest expert is an expert in both of those areas. That is why this is such an exciting evening. And business, that is a multifaceted arena. It includes things like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, scaling, leadership. The list goes on and on. And what I found was, again, these successful people had mastered all 3 of these areas. And the interesting thing about the business aspect of it, because it is so wide and deep, is that it's not absolutely necessary for a single individual to master all of those areas. However, if you are a leader and you master the leadership skill, then you can scale your business by bringing on help with people who do have those skills. So you, as a company, have mastered all those 3 areas. And that's exactly how successful people do it. They leverage by bringing on help. And speaking of leverage, the guest we have tonight, she is a master at leveraging because it's inherent to her business. And if she didn't do it, she would not thrive. And so obviously she is crushing it. And I am so excited. I've said that like 3 times because it's true. And another phenomenal aspect of successful people I found was that they are all avid readers. They're always reading very empowering and positive books that feed their brain. And with that, I like to switch over very briefly into a little segment I like to call affectionately bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you see it on the side of the screen. And by the way, real quick reminder, again, take out some old-fashioned paper. You remember that stuff made out of, well, traditionally out of trees, out of wood, and some other ingredients, and an old-fashioned writing instrument. And take notes and stay with us. That way, you'll be less apt to grab that mouse or tap on that screen and go somewhere else and, just lose attention to the show while we're discussing different resources, because I've just given you a resource, reachyourpeaklibrary.com, and Cyndi will be giving you resources as well. And I just urge you to stay with us and take notes, write those down versus running off to another tab in your browser to find that resource. Look at it later, because here's the thing. The magic happens in the room. Now, this is a virtual room, but I think you understand what I mean. As long as you're paying attention fully, the thing I really don't want to happen is for you to miss one nugget of information that Cyndi has for us and for you because you were off looking at something else. So stay with us to the end. And by the way, There'll be a great reason to stay with us till the end. I'm going to announce that in just a moment. Before I do that, I think it is time for us to bring on our special guest expert. What do you say? We're going to do it right now. Here we go.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And we need to add her to the screen. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Cyndi Walter. Welcome to the show. Cyndi, how are you doing tonight?
Doing fabulous. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. I've already said it 3 times. I'll say it again. So am I. And one thing before I actually formally bring you on, Cyndi, I want to remind everyone watching, especially those that are on live, that if they stay on to the very end, they will get the opportunity to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of our partners up there you see on the screen, powertexting.com. For those of you watching, for those of you listening, that's powertexting.com. One more time. It is a phenomenal vacation stay, and I can't wait for the next winner to grab that because we give this away every single show. Let's bring on Cyndi and let you guys know a little bit about her, and then I will finally shut my mouth and let her do some talking because the value is going to come from her. Cyndi Walter is a devoted wife and mother of 4 with over 27 years experience as an entrepreneur, trainer, and speaker in the direct selling industry. As a marathon runner and fitness instructor, Cyndi has always been passionate about exercise and has partnered with a company that shares her love for wellness and with another that shares her belief in healthy mindset. As a work-from-home mom in a rural part of Eastern Ohio, Cyndi has built a dynamic organization. Oh, I can't wait till we get into that, with many leaders who share her passion for healthy living through optimal nutrition and mental attitude. And now, officially welcoming you to the show, Cyndi Walter. How are you again?
Doing awesome. So excited to share and be part of this. Thank you so much.
It's fantastic. You talked about, or the bio of you talks about both healthy living and healthy mindset. I'm very deeply curious about the mindset. Speaking of that, that's where my curiosity lies with successful people such as yourself. I like to dig a little deeper. The bio gives us a great high-level view of your accomplishments, your experience, and why people should reach out to you. I like to dig deeper and find out what's going on in that beautiful brain of yours to get you to where you are, because it is my humble belief, after having studied these successful people, that it all begins with mindset. Where you are today is a direct result of your own mindset. So if you don't like where you are, guess what? You can write your own mindset. So for you, Cyndi, you know, when you get up in the morning, I like to say, like, if you're anything like me, I'm a little groggy. I don't know. Some people just get up and they're going. But if you get up and swing your feet over to the side of the bed and they hit the floor, you start coming to, you know, you're getting that awareness, and now a new day is in front of you. And there's that drive, there's that excitement, there's that, I can't wait for the next day, what it has in store for me. And for you, Cyndi, what have you done to maintain that positive, productive, and successful mindset? Is there something you do on a regular basis to do that?
Oh, yeah. I think anyone that has had any level of success has morning routines, bedtime routines. So every morning I get my organic cup of coffee, head to my office, which is where I'm at right now. And I start off with prayer, meditation, gratitude. I journal. I write my 10 top goals as if they've already happened. And I speak all of that into existence before I turn on the computer and get to emails, checking numbers, and getting on social media or any of that. So I have a very strict routine. Once I have my first kind of hour at my desk, then I work out. And then once I'm done with the whole working out, while I'm getting ready, I'm doing personal development. Then I'm back in my office, and I work from home, so I can then get to it and spend a few solid hours on the phone, on Zoom calls, meetings, getting out, meeting with people one-on-one, and the workday begins. But it all starts with that wonderful routine every morning.
That's fantastic. And I want to point that out again, that this is yet another very, very common pattern of highly successful people like Cyndi, and that is having a routine. Now, you heard what she said she does. If you don't have a routine yet, I would highly recommend you try modeling hers, copy it. Would that be okay with you, Cyndi?
Absolutely. And I changed it. You know, this with 2020, I had some new goals. I've now been doing more meditation, really quieting my mind. I listen to guided meditation before bed at night. So I change things up constantly, because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get the same results. So sometimes you just have to change things up in order to have better results.
That's fantastic advice. And so start, if you haven't done it, if you don't have a routine, start and try out what Cyndi does. And not everything is for everybody, and that's okay. So you can modify it. So if you were to put a time figure on the mornings, Cyndi, would you say on average, how long before you're through your routine and you're now back at work?
I spend probably about, I'd say 2.5 hours total from the time I get out of bed to the time I am ready to work. And the first hour is all the pre-morning things, the coffee, the meditation, the prayer, the journaling, all of that, answering some emails, getting started on my day. But the workout has to happen. And then once I shower and I sit back at my desk, I'm really ready to go and my head's in the right place. And I put my servant hat on. Who can I serve? Who can I help? How can I show up for people and add value today?
So I already some incredibly golden nuggets here for everyone watching and listening. The servant hat. You see, those that are most successful have that servant attitude, that come from the heart, that truly want to help others. And I remember seeing a video of yours on your website, Cyndi, where you talked about that very thing and said, once you started really concentrating on how to help more people, that's when your business took off. And I've heard that countless numbers of times from different successful individuals. So if you take it away from being money centric, and I get it, it's difficult to do that, especially in the beginning, because you're trying to make up your costs that you spent to get into whatever business it is that you're operating. And you just want to get going. And it's always money centric in the beginning, or at least for most people I've run into. But the beautiful thing is if you get connected with Cyndi, she can easily help you to get past that bridge and onto the bridge of servant attitude, so that you can get more success quicker. And I wanted to touch on your industry, if I may, Cyndi. I love it. Direct selling, which is another term for network marketing in most circles. I used to own a network marketing company for 6 years, co-own. And so I'm very well versed in it and have strong opinions about different parts of it. It's a phenomenal industry if the companies that represent it are represented appropriately. And you seem to have found one that does just that after several tries. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about your journey. You had been through a couple before. You don't have to name names if it's something you don't want to do. And then you found this one that you're in now. If you wouldn't mind, just tell folks how you got to where you are.
Sure. So we decided when we started to have a family that I would stay home, and we wanted to have a big family. And I paid my own way through college. I had, I would say, quite a dysfunctional childhood, and I paid my own way to go through college. And it took me a long time. I had to work full time to pay my own way. So it took me 3 years to get an associate's degree, 5 more years to get my bachelor's degree. And so by the time I was finally ready to have a family, I was like, now what am I going to do with my degree? And so someone said to me, why don't you get into home parties in people's homes? And so when I was a brand new mom, I got involved with a direct selling company where I went into other women's homes and I sold products. And I did that for 10 years. And my first company, honestly, I wasn't super successful with it. It was just really a fun little hobby for me to get me out of the house. I was home with 4 little children that I had in 7 years. And although I loved being home with them, it was just a little bit of a break, gave my husband some time with the kids and gave me a little break to be around other women. And then someone introduced me to my second company that I spent another 10 years with. And there I found success. Same concept. I was bringing products into women's homes and setting it all up and then selling products and then going home. And I became very successful at that company. I rose to the top level, one of the top 26 in the company, did really well there. But then my kids got older and started playing sports, and I didn't want to miss out on any of their activities. So I looked for something different that I truly could do from home, that I didn't have to go out and sell products anymore, load my minivan up and schlep products into people's houses. I really was kind of burned out from that. And so I found an online business, and I decided I had one more left in me. And I spent about a month researching health and wellness companies because you shared my passion for fitness. I'm a marathon runner, certified Pilates instructor, group fitness, anything fitness related, I absolutely love. So I thought, I really should look into health and wellness. People always ask me for advice anyway. So it just seemed like a perfect fit. So I researched all the companies, and what you were saying really rang true to me. I had to find the right company. I thought, this is going to be my last company. So I needed to make sure that it was really a perfect fit for me. Spent a long time researching, got started, and it's been the best and smartest business decision I've ever made. I truly believe with what you were saying about the three things, body, mind, and business. I really have it all with the company I partnered with. And so I really take my health and my clients' health very seriously. Mental, mindset piece is so gigantic, and have the business aspect of it too. And it's just really been such a blessing for our family. It's been 8 years. The end of May, it'll be 8 years.
Wow, 8 years. And it is the company name. Yes, you can say it.
Okay. Isagenix. Yep. Health and wellness company. They've been around for 17 years.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Isagenix. I actually had joined for a very short time. Probably 7 years ago or so. And it just network marketing. I had been through it as a co-owner. And I've been a distributor, as they're generically called, of many in addition. And I did this for a different reason than just building a business. So I decided if I'm not going to do it all the way, I'm not going to do it. And it had nothing to do with Isagenix as a company. Obviously, they're fantastic given your prowess. And so for those that are out there that are watching, maybe network marketing isn't your thing. It really doesn't matter if it is or not, because what you can learn from Cyndi will apply to any business. And what she's done is she's instilled incredible discipline. She's a go-getter. She's consistent, persistent. She obviously helps her people when she brings them on, because she has quite a thriving organization. If you don't mind, Cyndi, I'd like to let people know from your words how many people you have personally enrolled into Isagenix.
Sure. So I brought on personally about 350, and they've shared with people who have shared with people, and our organization is over 42,000. We're getting close to 43,000 now, which is huge. And in network marketing, in most companies, about 85% of those people are purely clients. So they're just coming on to use the products to maybe lose weight, gain muscle, for better workout, recovery, healthy aging. Those are our solutions for health. So 85% of all those people are clients. And then there's about 15% that share to some degree. So some might just have some great product results. People might notice, ask them about it, and then they decide to share with a few friends and family. Only about 1 to 3% are full-time like I am, and really do this as a business, and really are absolutely passionate about helping people get healthy, help people, mentally with the mindset piece of it, and also with the financial piece of it. I'm not the only one successful out of my my 42,000. We've really created some beautiful leaders in our organization who are just, their whole purpose is to help people. And it's such a beautiful alignment when you find the right company and the right products, and with a company that does it right. It's just a beautiful thing. So I'm so fulfilled by what I get to do. It's a blessing to me. I don't feel like it's work. Sometimes, Brian, it's hard to shut it off.
That is a good sign right there, because that's a great segue, because if you don't love what you do, I mean, truly love it, it can be a burden, not, and become a chore. If you find yourself having difficulty shutting it down before you go to sleep, that's a good sign. That's one that you love what you do. And you said a few things that were just on point. You know, after going through the first two business opportunities, you said, this is my last one. So then by doing that, by declaring that, you decided that, okay, then I'm going to research the bejeebers out of this thing. I'm going to make sure that this is the last one. And this is so true of any entrepreneur growing and building their own business. I've been through several businesses and finally just said, enough's enough. I'm not focusing on just one. And that's the same kind of thing that happened with you. You were focused on the first two, but not focused as your actual end all be all business, it sounds like. And so that's gold for people watching and listening right now to understand and recognize. And look, that's a natural process, by the way. So don't feel bad if you go down a path and you go, I'm not really feeling this. And you end up switching gears and going to another type of business. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the growth process for many people, including yours truly. Just less than a year ago, my primary business was built around fitness. That may shock some because I have not been in that for a while now. I did that for 7 years. And now I am in the automation game, which is online. I'm a geek and I love automation far more than I love fitness. And I didn't even realize it until I had a lot of great friends tell me and convince me that I should maybe move back over to doing this automation stuff for businesses and online stuff. And Cyndi, you've actually been experiencing some of that automation leading up to the show. And it's interesting because we have this growth path that we all go through. And so just live the moment and learn as much as you possibly can through every one of these phases. And you'll be much better off for it. I lost my pen somewhere. So I opened it up by talking about reading. Part of the opening was talking about reading. Would you consider yourself to be an avid reader, Cyndi? And if so, is there like a book that really stands out in your mind right now that it's just kind of like, that's the one that's my favorite at this moment?
Oh gosh, that's such a tough question. Leaders or readers? So I'm finding, as busy as I am, I'm doing a lot of Audible lately. So I just got through 2 Mel Robbins books. I love her. Brendan Burchard is one of my favorites. I'm actually coming to California to a conference soon. The one I've got right by my desk now is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, to really help with the wealth mindset. But I don't have a favorite, Brian. It's just, every book I read at the time is my favorite. And I just constantly I listen to, whenever I'm listening to someone speak on a stage and they bring up a book, I write it down in my notes and I order it on Amazon or get it downloaded on Audible, and I get going on it because I always want to be making myself better. And that's always my goal. How can I be better today than I was yesterday? And personal development, reading from all different readers. John Maxwell is one of my favorites. I read lots and lots of his books on leadership. So I have several favorites, not just one. So probably not the best answer in the world, but whatever I'm reading is my favorite.
There's no wrong answer to that. And Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I'm so glad that is also one of my favorites. T. Harv Eker. I actually personally know a gentleman that helped him to start and build his business for the first few years. He was his right-hand man, and he's been on this show. His name's Jeff Fagan, lives in Arizona. And I'll tell you, Jeff, who knew T. Harv back when they were teenagers, they were friends back then. And he carries that book that you just showed everywhere he goes as if it were a business Bible. And it is worn and dog-eared and post-it noted and written in, and he uses it and teaches every single week straight from that book and the concepts he teaches. And you want to talk about mindset techniques? Those are powerful. That is a great mindset book to go to. Love that one. Yeah, and many favorites here too. I don't have like one lately that is my absolute favorite. Quite a few. So fantastic. So there you go, everyone. You can see we've got a very successful woman who has all the traits that I talked about before, mind, body, and business. And now on the business side, we'll get into that a little bit more. But I wanted to first touch more on the body because it has so much to do with the business you're in. And obviously, you have a history of being fit. Marathon runner, my goodness, you got to be pretty fit to be a marathon runner and actually make it to the finish line. So I think I have an idea what the answer to this is, but I'd like to hear it in your words. Is how important is physical fitness to you, your business and your personal life on both of those aspects?
Huge, huge. I just feel like, and I study successful people too, and I go to lots of conferences, and almost every conference I've been to, Rachel Hollis, who wrote Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing, just at her conference, she did a big segment on health. She's super healthy. Brendan Burchard, he talks about it all the time as well. And I just think that when you have your health, you have everything. But if you don't have your health, it's very hard to have anything else. And so much of my mindset and being positive and always seeing the glass half full and always seeing the good in everyone comes from being healthy. And so I just think it's just a pillar that has to be at the front of everything else that we do. And when you have your health, everything else seems to fall into place. So I coach a lot of people that don't like physical fitness at all. And they'll say to me, well, it's easy for you to say you're a marathon runner. I didn't always love to run. I used to force myself. I'm not a small person. I'm 5'9". I have size 11 feet. You would not you don't look at me and say, oh my gosh, that's a marathon runner. Not at all. But I love to do it. And I'm not super fast, but I love the accomplishment of being able to say I ran 26 miles. If I can do that, I can do anything. And I love to do it with friends, and it's an accountability thing. So I'm always working out with girlfriends, and I lift weights with my husband 3 days a week. So I always kind of partner it up with other things. I do it with other people for accountability, and I do it because I know I feel better. And I did this all when I had little children. I feel better when I'm physically fit and I'm eating properly and I'm getting enough rest.
Amen. Amen to all of that. My goodness. Real quick, Stan G on YouTube was saying, thank you for the new book for me to read. Glad we could be there for you, Stan. That's a phenomenal book. And everything you just said, Cyndi, spot on. You feel better. When you realize that you don't, look, here's the thing, guys, I'll talk to you first. You do not have to achieve the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday. That's not the point. And ladies, you do not have to become a supermodel or extremely beautiful like Cyndi, because it takes time anyway. It takes time to become a bodybuilder and a good one and a very built man. And it takes time for women to tone and reduce fat and look and feel better. It just takes time. The thing is, just like success in business, it takes consistency, discipline, drive, and all of that. You put it together. But all you need to do is one workout at a time. And you'll notice after just one, you're going to feel a lot better. Tension's gone. Those endorphins are flying around in your body, and you're just, you can work out like Cyndi does. She checks emails and then does her workout and then goes and get really busy on phone calls. That's when she's got the most energy because she just finished working out. It's like a free energy boost. And the side effects are all positive, except in the beginning, you might get a little sore. That's to be expected. No worries. You just power on through it the next day, and it's okay to continue to work out when it's sore. It's just a lactic acid buildup. It's not going to hurt you. Again, I was in fitness for quite a while. It does. Just get over that hump, and Cyndi will help you. This is a person who walks the walk. Go ahead.
The big thing is, if you do it enough, it will become a habit. You do it consistently day after day, and it will become a habit, and it will become your identity, where now, like, I don't like to work out. If I can skip a day, but if I have to skip 2 or 3 days due to travel or something, I am not happy. So I try to fit it in even when I'm traveling, because it just is my identity now. And that can happen for anyone. You just have to be consistent with it long enough to create the habit.
And that's so true. And you have a fan here, Pam Bogosian. I don't know if I said that right.
That's awesome.
I am so fortunate to be mentored by Cyndi Walter. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I can see why. There's so many reasons. Yeah, and what you said about developing a habit is, my son, when he was around 12 years old, we made a pact that I would get a DVD-based workout system if he promised to do it with me, because it was all body weight based. And I knew that he couldn't hurt himself because he's in full control, not with, big, massive weights that could hurt him as a young boy. And he said, yes. And so we started working out together on a regular basis. And to this day, it has stuck with him. And he is now 25 years old, 23. And he works out nearly every single day of the week. And he works out like a beast. I love it. And far more than I need to. I just want to stay maintained. I'm in maintenance mode. I'm 55. I'm not going to build an Arnold body anyway. I just know it makes me feel fantastic. And I just get through the day better by doing exercise. And I loved what you said about lifting weights with your husband, if I may interject that, because many women shy away from what we call strength training. And some have this notion that they're going to get big, manly muscles like a man. And oh my goodness, it's not going to happen. Not especially if you're a female, because when you see female bodybuilders, those that look that they have manly muscles, they have taken some incredible amounts of supplements, and some are very damaging to the body. Some are okay, but it won't happen. Just put it that way. And strength training is one of the best forms of training on the planet. It helps with joints. It's counterintuitive, I know. But once I started lifting really heavy weights, heavier than I ever had before, and doing it properly, my joint pain went away, gone. And so there's so many benefits. I could go on forever. And so, yes, body is definitely integral, mind and body. And I like to say this, the mind and body are a team. More importantly, they are your team. So if any part of your team is not operating at its full 100% peak levels of performance, then the team as a whole, i.e. you, is suffering. That's it. So just take care of those two things. Now the business will start rolling faster, easier, better, because you'll have the energy, you'll have the health, you'll have you'll be attracting more people, because like Cyndi, who's there glowing and smiling all the time because she's in optimal health all the time. That's a key part of this. All right. Being an entrepreneur is super simple. Yes, Cyndi, it's like once you get to a certain level of success, it's kind of like autopilot. You just kind of sway back and forth in your hammock with that umbrella drink and just rake in the dough, right?
No, it's very difficult, but it is the most rewarding thing you'll ever do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people have a misconception that the more success one has, the easier it gets. And it turns out it's actually the opposite. It's the more problems or issues that you need to solve will come in front of you. And the cool thing is as you're becoming successful and growing that success ladder, you begin to learn to become flexible with your mindset. And so now it's all about how you react to things. It's not about what's happening to you or for you. It's how you react to them. And Cyndi's obviously learned how to do that at a high level. 350 personally enrolled. That's astronomical. That is incredible. And for everyone that's watching, if there's any part of you that says, I would like to join forces and get into a network marketing company with someone who has actually crushed it, who knows what they're doing, Cyndi is your person. You can tell, look at her. She's heart-based. She's integrity-based. She has 4 kids. She's a family woman. And she's committed not only to her success, but to yours, because she's got that servant attitude. That's how she got where she is. So it takes, I was being facetious, of course, about the comment about being an entrepreneur. It does take, though, different skill sets, that you develop these over time. And for you, Cyndi, if you had to think of just only get 3 of the top skills that you feel are necessary to become a successful entrepreneur, what would those 3 be?
Ooh, gosh, that's a good one. I would say you have to be committed to your personal development and personal growth. So whether that be reading, listening to podcasts, I'm always listening to podcasts or reading books or going to seminars, trying to learn and be a student. I'll be a student forever. So that no matter what level of success you get to, just constantly being engrossed in personal development and growth. Being a person of character and wanting to give back and serve is huge in any business. I mean, it's certainly true in network marketing, certainly true in my business, but in any business. And the people that I've always been drawn to and attracted to that are successful in business have hearts to serve others. They're not in it just for themselves. And like you were saying, in the beginning, sometimes you've got to pay the bills, but when you realize that it's so much bigger than you and that you can really make a difference for other people and you can help and serve in bigger ways and give back and be charitable, that is so huge. And then there's just a level of discipline, that mindset of being, that mindset of saying this one is going to work. Like when I said I had one more business in me, there was no plan B, there was no plan C. I was disciplined, I was committed to this, and I was going to do whatever it took to make this work and be successful. And you have to have that level of, really being committed and disciplined to whatever your goals are, whatever business that you're in order to be successful with it. And you can't give up. And I think, I see it a lot in network marketing where people think the grass is greener and they jump from company to company to company. And, I was with 3, but that's over the course of 27 years. I have not jumped. I spent 10 years with 2 other companies. And the reason I left was not because the grass was greener. It was because I wanted a complete shift and change and wanted more of an online business. But once I came here, I decided that I was going to make this work, and I was committed to it. And I was committed to my growth. I was going to be disciplined. I was going to continue on my learning journey, and I was going to do whatever I could to give back as much as I could and add value to people's lives. So anytime I've ever asked to be a guest on a podcast or an interview, or I do a lot of team trainings for people not even in my organization, people in my company, in my industry that just need help, I always say yes whenever I possibly can, because I want to give back. Because this business, this industry has blessed me so much, I just owe it for people, to give back to people. So I would say, those 3 things are really crucial no matter what business you're in.
Those are phenomenal. I can't agree more. That I was taking notes myself. So all of you watching and listening, I'm doing it. So I'm running the whole show, the host, the producer, the director, you name it, and, still taking notes because, and I have a drawer full of these notes from all of my past guests. It's amazing. It's gold. Discipline. So personal development, reading, networking, right? Going to the events you talked about before. That's another form of personal development I have found. It depends on what's being taught there, but also you're nurturing your own networking skills as you do this. And, when you said, when someone asks you to speak, you say yes, that's phenomenal. And I preach that as well, especially if it's any kind of speaking gig, because yes, you're helping people and you're giving back. And at the same time, the side benefit of that is you're growing in your own speaking prowess, because as a speaker myself, you can never stop improving, in my personal opinion. And to improve, you need to just speak more and then hopefully get feedback from someone who can help you to improve to the next step. Discipline and commitment. Can't agree more. And that where that comes, if you're finding you don't have discipline, I know that's something I've always struggled with, is develop that routine. That's a discipline, to develop that routine and then stick to it and do everything in your power to stick to it, no matter where you're at. If you're traveling, you're in a hotel room, get flexible. If you work out, and there's no gym nearby, bring some bands with you, whatever it takes, just prepare for it. Make it a priority. And then what was the third?
Personal development, growth, discipline, commitment. I kind of jumbled more than 2 words in. And then mindset, just making that, decision and having the mindset that there's no plan A, plan B, plan C, that once you make that decision, you're going to stick to it. And it's great to try different things and see what you're really good at. You really want to be doing something that you're passionate about and that you love and that is fulfilling to you. And that may change. But once you make that decision, it's sticking to it. I mean, I always tell people the biggest mistake you can make is quitting. Just don't quit on yourself. Just keep going, because your success is just right on that other side. Oh, hey, Claudia.
Yeah, and I like to call that in one word is focus. We get what we focus on. And so if you're focusing on several things, you're not going to achieve the level of success you could if you just hunkered down and focused on one. That's why what Cyndi said earlier is so important, that you've thoroughly research whatever it is you're about to embark on. It doesn't have to be a network marketing company. It could be a new business model, or I'm going to get into the speaking industry, and make sure it's something you're going to want to do for the long haul. Have a big why. I'm sure you've learned that one. You've got 5 big whys at your house, 4 kids and a husband, and everyone's why can be different. Many of them are, and just, it goes on and on and on. It's amazing. But focus is always, that's when I find those that aren't making it and aren't succeeding, is because that shiny object would come and they would lose sight of what they're working on, and what happened to what they were working on. It just sort of sits and goes stagnant. And then another shiny object, and they're off to another business opportunity or another get rich quick scheme of some kind, which yours is not. Obviously, you're making it happen, and you did it over the long haul. 7 years, right?
Almost 8 with this company. So yeah. And, I think anyone can make a great part-time income in network marketing. But to make a full-time income, you and I were talking about this prior to the show, it really does require a lot of commitment and sacrifice. I've had to sacrifice some things to be like, for example, my baby just turned 18 and I missed her 18th birthday to be at a conference and have to make it up to her after the fact. And so I was sending her flowers and letting her know how much I love her. And she knows that, I was at a conference and I would have brought her with me had she not had obligations. She couldn't be with me, but I've had to make sacrifices over the years. I've had to work very hard. I've had to face rejection. I've had to face the loss of a few friends that didn't understand my business, my industry. Mm-hmm. I've had to go through a lot of those things to be where I'm at today. But I can tell you this, for the few people that really, really, really are passionate about this and really want to grow and really have big dreams and a huge why. I talk about your why all the time. This industry is amazing because ordinary people can do extraordinary things in this industry. And that's what I love about it.
And we're looking at the shiny example of just that. And I wouldn't call anyone ordinary. I think you, though, in your particular case, you are extraordinary because what you've done. You are that person that they get to hold up as a shiny example on stage and say, look at her, mom of 4. I mean, come on. That by itself is a overtime job and a half. And then to also have a successful, thriving business that does take your time, does take sacrifice. You have what it takes. Hey, we have a question coming in from actually someone I know, Richard Barrier. Why do people choose the safety net of working for someone else instead of themselves? So I'm guessing he's talking about working for corporate or another company instead of working for themselves. I'm not sure when that came in and what we were talking about at the moment, but that's a good question.
Yes, and I would probably say the fear factor. It's very comfortable and safe to work for a company that has a time clock or a steady paycheck that comes in every week, and not just in network marketing, but for many entrepreneurs that are taking a little bit of a risk and a gamble doing something that's not so safe and not so comfortable. I think fear is what stands in most people's way. And so I actually work with a lot of people that have full-time jobs, full-time commitments, and they build their network marketing business in the pockets of their life. And I don't tell people to just quit their full-time jobs until their income is to the point where they're a little safer, so they don't worry so much. And then when it's time, they can burn the ships and really dive into this full time. But I think that's why. I think, that's a great question. I think people really seek comfortable situations and, safety nets. And a lot of people are just afraid and fearful to take risks. And, some businesses, there's a lot of risk involved. In network marketing, very little. The cost of entry in most network marketing companies is very low. In a company like mine, you eat your cost of entry. It's not a big deal at all. But in the case of buying like a franchise or something big and huge, there can be a lot of money, that you're investing in something like that.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question, Richard. I know him personally. He's a dear friend of mine and also an entrepreneur in his own right. And he developed an app back when it wasn't commonplace, but it was an app to keep the youth from texting while driving to save lives. So another servant-based gentleman. So thanks for joining us, Richard. Appreciate you, my brother. Let's see. My goodness, there's so much I want to learn from you. And I mean, 350 people, and then the organization going to 42, almost 43,000. Look, I've been in the industry myself for many years, not just as a co-owner, but also as a distributor. And I can tell you that a lot of the ones that made it to the quote unquote top did so by just recruiting and doing nothing more but recruiting. And what I mean by that is not supporting those who they just brought into the business. I know of several that have done that. And then they sit there and wonder, why is their business suddenly like plateauing? They're not going anywhere. It's like, I've had talks with them. I said, because you're not supporting your people. You got to take time, but I need to recruit. Yes. But supporting the people you have now would be more important, because the exponential growth factor that results is far more important at this point. You've built enough. Now start helping your people. And so that's one thing I can tell you've done. Do you spend a lot of time supporting your quote unquote downline? And if so, how much of your day on average would you say do you devote to that?
Yeah, that's really key to success in this industry. And one of my favorite quotes is the Zig Ziglar quote: "If you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want." And so I work a lot with my leaders. We have a mastermind call once a week with all of my top leaders in my organization, and we do team calls and trainings once a week. And then I do a lot of Zoom trainings and three-way calls to help people get started. And so I spend a lot of time. I would probably say, even though I'm probably flip-flopped a little bit. I probably spend more time training and leading my team and mentoring and helping them than I do on personally, attracting new clients, because that is really my passion. I really love to help and mentor people. I always am looking for new clients that I can serve and help with their health, for sure. But I love mentoring people and training them. So I would probably say I spend about 60 to 70% of my time working with my team, mentoring them, helping them grow into leaders. We do have a lot of leaders in our organization, which is awesome. We work so well together, and it's just a beautiful community of people who want to see each other succeed, want to see each other soar. It's not competitive against each other. It is, let's do this together. And your success raises, we just raise each other up, and it's truly beautiful. So it's something that I don't think a lot of companies have, or in the corporate world, it's not always that way. I get a lot of people that have corporate jobs, and why they're attracted to network marketing is for the community, for the support, for the encouragement. And that's something that I love that we have.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal model, because how many times have you heard the word pyramid scheme when they think they know what you're in? Because it's network marketing that all got put in this bubble called a pyramid scheme, which are illegal, by the way. And we know that most businesses out there are not, but they get this negative connotation. The interesting thing about that whole concept is there's nothing more pyramid than the corporate structure on the planet. The person above you has to either leave the business, the company, get promoted if there's a place to go up higher, or pass away for you to be able to move up and fill that slot. It is locked in. You cannot achieve any greater success than your superior unless one of those things happen. In network marketing, they're designed such that you can pass anybody all day long in income and success. And you have a support group like you were just explaining. That's why network marketing is such a phenomenal idea. I mean, the whole concept behind it is when you help others, you succeed. And I'm so refreshed to hear you say, Cyndi, 60 to 70%. For those of you that are out there that are, that recruit like crazy and you're really good at it, that's phenomenal. Take that talent and help and teach and mentor those that you brought in to achieve the same, and be patient with it, because we are looking at right here next to me, a model for success. 350 personally enrolled, which is quite a feat, and an organization of over 42,000. If that isn't enough to convince you to say, I want to follow this woman, I want to learn from her, then you're in the wrong place. I'm just going to be frank. Has no past though, too, right? No legacy for your family. Yeah. Richard's adding more comments about this whole corporate versus entrepreneur type mentality and situation. And so for those of you watching and listening, look, she's in an amazing industry, not just network marketing, but what they are doing in the industry is for health and for not just physical health, also mental, more, mental acuity, more sharpness. And you can see she's a product of the product. And we've never met before. I just learned a few days before I brought you onto the show that you were involved with Isagenix. And so what I'm trying to say is I'm not here to pitch Cyndi. I am just duly impressed by her. And I think many people could really reap the reward of learning from her. And so we will give you an opportunity to connect with her near the end of the show, which, oh my goodness, we're getting close to it already. And definitely reach out to her and find out how to get started with her and get some mentoring by her. If it's anything like most network marketing companies, the buy-in amount is not exorbitant and most people can afford it. And she can help you with all that. It's a phenomenal thing. I'm pumped right now. This is fantastic. Network marketing didn't give me that great feeling for many years since I was a co-owner. And we struggled mightily with that company, learned a ton, but I still enjoy the whole concept and everything about it because it lifts everybody up along with you. So you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. You've been sifting, sorting, going through 3 companies, now found your third and final. And during that, you mentioned already that sometimes sacrifices must be made. And I'm sure there are also on the other side, on the flip side, some positive things that have happened that have directly impacted your family. So how has being an entrepreneur for you affected your family life, and good, bad, ugly, whatever you feel like sharing?
Yeah, it's just been such a blessing. So number one, it allowed me to stay home and raise my family. And, I was able to get my kids on the bus, get them off the bus, be the room mother, the field trip mother, go to, big trips like, DC and New York City. And so that part was wonderful. I was really able to be a present mom for my children. But then as they got bigger, I was able to financially help and take some stress and burden off my husband, who was such an amazing provider, so that I could stay home for so many years. And so then I was able to start making enough money. I could start putting money in their kids' college funds. So unlike my husband and I, he was paying off college loans till he was 30. We were married and had not kids yet for him, but he was still paying off college loans. And I wanted my kids to be able to choose whatever college they wanted to go to and not have to worry about paying bills till they were 30 years old. So that was wonderful. Then giving my husband the opportunity to give his 2 weeks notice in 2015. And he's still there part-time, but for the last 5 years, he's been working with me. And it's just been such a blessing because we both have very different skill sets and get different giftings and talents and work very well together. So that's been wonderful, to the point where his dad got sick with cancer, and it was just very hard on the whole family. He was just one of the dearest people you could ever meet. And my husband was able to take the time over the course of a year to bring his dad to every single chemo treatment, to every doctor's appointment, to really be there for him every step of the way. And he would often thank me because it was my income that was coming in that gave him the ability to be able to say yes and to be able to do that for a year. That was an amazing blessing. And I can rarely get through that without crying. So I'm really proud of myself that I just did that. And then now my son, my oldest of the 4 kids, he's going to be 25. Him and his girlfriend do this business with us full time now as well. And they've attracted a ton of millennials into our business. And my why has evolved and changed. And it's so funny you brought this up earlier, because I did a live video on Facebook Tuesday talking about the importance of having a why, no matter what business you're in, the importance of having a why that is so strong, it will help you have the courage to do things that are out of your comfort zone, to help you be braver and more courageous. And that's what's happened for me. And my why just has kept evolving and changing. And right now, I'm just so excited to have this group of new young people that I'm like a second mom to. Many of them that are calling me mama now. And I love it because so many of them, I see myself in them. And I'm successful now, but I would not have been someone that you would have thought would be successful if you would have known me in my 20s. As a matter of fact, I often say that people in high school, in my high school yearbook, when everybody was saying, I want to be a doctor and a lawyer, I wrote, I want to have a big, happy family. And so, thank God he blessed me with a big, beautiful family. But now I've got all these millennials that I'm able to pour into and pour belief in and love on them and support them and encourage them. And not all of them have that at home. And so it's just given me this whole nother level of, God, I'm being used for such a higher purpose, and I'm able to really impact people. And now these younger people, it's just so fulfilling. So, network marketing is not easy, but it is the most fulfilling, most enjoyable thing I've ever done. I can't imagine where I'd be without this industry. I wouldn't be who I am today. I can tell you that, because I found out about personal development and reading and podcasts through network marketing.
That's a great statement right there. That network marketing, and again, it depends on if you land with the proper company that encourages that, promotes it, and maybe supplies some of those teachings as part of their program. And so know that where Cyndi is now obviously is working, not just for her financially, but also developing her mindset, personal development. That helps with your family life. It permeates through, business permeates through your personal life and vice versa. And so, basically, what I got from that was what being an entrepreneur and what is it effect it has had on your family. One word came to mind as you were saying that with your husband and the ability to be able to do things that he wouldn't normally be able to do. And that is, it provided liberty, liberation from the shackles of a corporate life to be able to take care of business as it needed to be taken care of. And, it's never about money. Money is an integral part, and we need it. So don't get me wrong there. I'm not saying you don't need money. The thing that money does for people like Cyndi, the more money she makes, the more she's able to serve more people. And that you can just see that's at her heart, that's at her core. And did you see how she lit up as she is saying what a wonderful thing she is blessed to be able to do, which is work in network marketing with Isagenix, and to be able to have the success she's had to help people to now bridge the gap of millennials to our generation. That's a big one. That's phenomenal. I can see why you're so excited. And so you're a blessing. I'm so glad that you are walking this planet and spreading your wealth of knowledge, your love for people to serve. There is one final question I like to end every show with. And you don't know what it is. You haven't seen it. And that's for a purpose, because it's a very telling question. It's a personal question without getting too personal, if that makes sense. And the reason it's personal is because each individual's answer are quite unique, I've found. Yeah. Yes. Richard saying your face was glowing as well. Definitely was happening. So that's a true sign that she's in the right place right now. This is her time to shine in the place she's at now for 7 years, being consistent, persistent. But this one question I want to ask you, Cyndi, it's a powerful question. And when I do ask it, if it takes you a moment, don't worry about it. It's okay. Take however long you need. Some have an instant answer on the tip of their tongue. Others take a few moments. It's very personal. So, whatever it takes, it's okay. We have I'm not on a radio station or anything where they'll shut down our signal. We can go longer if we need to. Before we do that, though, I want to now reveal to everyone who has stuck with us, congratulations for staying on, how to win that 5-night stay at the 5-star luxury resort, compliments of powertexting.com. Here it is. You now have both of our express permission to literally pull out your cell phone. Here's why. To enter to win, all you need to do is punch in the phone number into your messaging app. The phone number is 661-535-1624. And then when you go to type a message as if you're going to message someone, I know millennials get this, but this is for more of our generation. You then type in the word PEAK, P-E-A-K, and tap that little send icon, and you will immediately and automatically be entered to win. And we will announce it after the show all over social media, and we will personally reach out to you by texting you back and getting more information so we can give you that wonderful, wonderful prize. So one more time, type in the number into your messaging app, 661-535-1624. 1624 and enter the word PEAK, the word peak, and hit send, and we will pick a winner. We do this each and every show. I am so excited that we get to do this for you. It's a phenomenal gift. And just so you know, this is not one of those things where they rope you into a timeshare. No. In fact, the owners of powertexting.com have tested this themselves no less than 3 times. They've gone on the trips and reported back it is as if you're another guest, a fully paying guest at a wonderful resort, treated no different than everyone else. So it's an amazing gift. So go ahead and do that right away. And we are back with the woman of the hour, Cyndi Walter. She's an amazing woman, as many of you can tell by now. And are you ready for this question, Cyndi?
I am nervous, but I'm ready.
There's a little build up to it, isn't there? And so now that I've built it up and got you all kind of curious, here's the thing. This will help a lot, is that your answer to this question, there is no such thing as a wrong answer. It's impossible. You can't answer it incorrectly. In fact, the opposite is actually the truth. The only correct answer is yours, because it's a personal answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just relax and, use that beautiful mindset of yours and say, well, whatever comes to my mind, that's going to be the answer. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Here we go. Cyndi Walter, how do you define success?
It's different for everyone. So for me personally, success means that I am fulfilled in my life, and my fulfillment comes from helping other people. It comes from having great experiences with my family. Now I've got kids that are living on different coasts, and so when we're all together, I'm my happiest self. So success is not just financial to me. For a while, I might have said that years and years ago, but it's having enough money that I'm able to really contribute financially to other people. It's been fun as my income has gotten bigger and better. I'm really able to do a lot of generous things, especially at the end of a year. My husband will say, he'll tell me how much I have left, maybe to do some more donating and giving. So very cool to be able to financially give. But to me, it's how many people can I help on a daily basis. I really feel like my greater purpose is to make a difference in people's lives. And so I'm successful when I'm feeling that I'm growing in that direction, that I am helping more and more people every single day achieve their goals. And as that happens, I feel fulfilled and I'm happy and I feel successful in what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
That is phenomenal. Here's the thing. No 2 people on this show have answered that the same exact way. That's why there's no such thing as a wrong answer. And the other interesting thing is not a single guest that's come on the show made money the priority, the reason that, the thing that they called and used as their definition of success. Some mentioned it, you mentioned it lightly, but the real reason was, how many people can I help? I had another gentleman that actually said, to make more money. And then he went into the reasons why. It was for liberation, for serving more, the real reasons, right? And that's the thing. When people are just starting out, I find that they're more in a scarcity mindset, and money means more to them than it does for those like you and I who have achieved a level of success where the real end goal, the real reason we feel we're all on this planet is to help and serve others. And it's a common trait. Every single guest that comes on has said something kind of similar to what you said, but nobody said it exactly the same, which is really, really interesting. And we had a comment in here. Thank you, Janice, for reminding folks on how to enter to win. That is very nice. There's another servant attitude. She's typing in the comments to help out. Appreciate that, Janice, very, very much. You must know Cyndi, I'm guessing. Maybe not.
Might be one of my team members. Yeah.
Well, when you have 43,000 almost members, you may not know every name, right?
That's a familiar name, but you're right. I don't know everyone, and that's a bummer. I wish I did. I wish I could, but I don't. But what a blessing. What a blessing.
Fantastic. You are a blessing. I'm so happy that we brought you on the show. We have one more giveaway, and I think it's by somebody over here that has a wonderful gift to give everyone. So what I want to do is turn it over to you so you can explain what this wonderful, wonderful gift that you have for everyone is.
Awesome. So guys, if you want to visit my website, cyndiwalter.com, it's CYNDIWALTER.com. And usually there's a pop-up that comes up. You put your name and email in and subscribe, and you will get a free recipe and tip guide. It's a free download that you can have. If it doesn't come up, there's a bar right there in the middle of the screen that you can sign up for that as well. And then you'll be on my email listing that you can unsubscribe at any time. But should you subscribe to that, I will email you out my weekly blog. This week it's on your why. That was one of the things we talked about tonight. Also, you can schedule a free 15-minute consultation with me there to talk about your health. I can help with people that have weight to lose, energy, if they're looking for more energy, people that are looking to age more gracefully, people that do work out and are into fitness, I can help with that. So you can schedule a free 15-minute consultation. I also offer mindset coaching programs that I'm involved with. So I can help you with that as well. Schedule a free call. I'd be happy to do whatever I can to help you live your healthiest life. There you go.
There's the pop-up. It just came up, I believe. Let's see if that's it. I have to see this. Oh, wrong one.
Yep.
There we go.
It's called Own Your Fridge.
Yeah, so I just scrolled down a little bit and my mouse got stuck and we saw a white screen for a bit. And now look at that. There you go. So if you see that, or you can enter it in that bar that was near the top as well. So get your free gift. Thank you so much for that, Cyndi. And everyone that has been with us watching online, we appreciate each and every one of you. And for those of you listening on the podcast afterward, we appreciate you as well. Please help spread the word about this amazing young woman. Her name again is Cyndi Walter. She can be reached at, is there a specific place they can reach you other than your website? Is there an email address you want to give out, or do you want to keep that private?
That's fine too. It's cindywalter4@gmail.com. And then also I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm everywhere. So I would love for you to follow me and connect with me. And I try to offer value on all of the platforms.
Fantastic. Wow. And we have a big thank you from Pam. And thank you, Pam, for coming on and staying to the end. I hope you entered for that grand prize of the 5-night stay at a 5-star resort, because if you don't enter, you can't win. I hope you are one of them. All right. That is it for tonight's edition. Once again, Cyndi, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so very much. You've been phenomenal, incredible value. Anyone who watches this or listens to it even afterward, they're going to get a great amount of help. And I so implore you to reach out and connect with Cyndi if you're looking to crush it in business and have that liberty and freedom that she has gotten herself or her family. It's an amazing, amazing gift she's given. All of her hard efforts and work has paid off for her entire family. Isn't that amazing? I love that.
I'd like to thank you. I've been on several podcasts, and your professionalism and the way from the start, all the automation was amazing. And the way that you handled this and your questions were just wonderful. And I will definitely be sharing your podcast with all of my followers as well.
Oh, I appreciate that very, very much. And especially share this episode. Definitely. I will do the same. Yes. It's going to go on to 25 different podcasting platforms right after the show is over. It will take an hour or two, and it's going to be up on 25 different platforms, several video, everything else that goes with it. Yes. You're welcome as well, Richard. Thank you, buddy, for coming on. Thank you all. All right. Enough of the gushing. It's time for us to sign off. On behalf of the wonderful Cyndi Walter, I am your host, Brian Kelly. This has been the Mind Body Business Show. We will see you again next week. Until then, be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for watching and listening. This has been the Mind Body Business Show with Brian Kelly.